Yeah, my name is Alfons Olszewski, veterans of 911 Truth.
And we're seeing a big movement now, and this is the reason that we're talking about this so much. I know people are perhaps a little weary about discussing anything to do with 911, but 911 has had a tremendous effect on everybody's lives, and so and we are starting to see in the United States a big push by filmmakers, artists. Charlie Sheen has gone out and said that the official story isn't correct. So let's
no, it's not.
So let's talk about this thing. Let's just talk about it. It
was an inside job.
Okay, well,
it's provable. You have buildings collapsing at free fall. You've got buildings blowing up, particles and dust clouds moving at 200 foot per second. We, the Veterans for 911 Truth, met at a website called Scholars for 911 Truth that was created by Dr. Jim Fetzer and Professor of Physics at Brigham Young University, Dr. Steve Jones.
Yeah, we've had James Fetzer on the show.
Yep.
What really changed the anti-war movement in the 60s was when veterans started to come together and speak out about the horrors of war.
Yep, that's what we're trying to do, is stop the war, stop the coup d'etat that's taking place here in the United States, and this is a distress signal. When you're at the website, you probably noticed that the flag is flying upside down. That's a signal of dire distress, and we are in a state of dire distress.
And that website is v911t.org.
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about when you set this up, because you just got started with this, right?
Yes, just got started with this. We met, the four of us met at Scholars for 911 Truth Forum, where we're discussing the anomalies surrounding 911. Someone suggested that veterans should get together and oppose this coup d'etat of the government, and I agreed, and we started it up. And that's how we got started, and since then we were making plans. We recruited a Lieutenant Colonel retired Robert Bowman, who was a rocket scientist. He was former head of Star Wars under Reagan. We've got former attorney generals of states, and we're about business here. We're not messing around, and there's nothing theoretical about 911. The conspiracy is not theoretical, it's provable. We advocate the opening of an investigation with citizen-appointed investigators. None of this perpetrators get to investigate the crime thing that's been going on.
When did you decide that actually it was just time to start something like this? Had you been thinking about it for a while, or?
I've been putting the word out ever since 9/12/2001. I realized that NORAD protocols were not followed on the morning of 9/11, and I began investigating. Just surfing around the internet and going to places like FAA.gov to confirm my suspicions. And the more I looked, the more convinced I became that this was very deliberate, done by the U.S. government, entities therein, not the whole U.S. government. Entities therein, probably some private contractors, CIA, Mossad, ISI, and there's just a mountain of evidence that indicates that our government did it. The 911 Commission completely ignores Building 7 that fell at the rate of free fall as if it were in a vacuum. How does a 47-story building get in a vacuum? It's ridiculous.
And it wasn't hit by a plane. It wasn't hit by a plane.
There were small fires, and it fell at free fall as if the whole building failed. All the structural steel in the building failed all at once. Kerosene does not melt steel. Doesn't stress it significantly. We have authoritative information, laboratory tests that were done by ASTM. It's fire-rated steel. ASTM E119 steel. Kerosene's not going to bother it at all. So there's evidence, and it's not theoretical. It's scientifically provable evidence. There were bombs going off in the World Trade Center towers. It's corroborated with seismic evidence, eyewitness evidence, spectroscopy photographs done by the U.S. Geological Survey, and the EPA has analyzed the dust with a chromatograph, so we know what the dust is made of. And there's high levels of radioactive isotope and magnesium, indicating the probability of a thermate, which is a nano-enhanced thermite, that was used to bring those towers down. Begs the question, doesn't it? Who put the bombs in the towers?